What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford. We're back for another one. Alright, y'all. New topic real fast. New topic. No cap. Terence Crawford is pricing himself out. Wants 55-45 split for Errol Spence undisputed fight. Still not signed. Alright, y'all. Lot to be said there, man. No cap zone right now. No cap zone, man. To be completely honest with you, 55-45 split would have been good a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Would have been the right split, you know, because both fighters still had a little bit more to prove. Now that Errol Spence is the three-time welterweight champion, Terence Bud Crawford has basically been fighting mediocre fights for the past year and a half, 2 years, really since he got the welterweight period. But for the past year and a half to 2 years, Terence Crawford has done nothing spectacular as a welterweight. You know, somebody asked me a question on in the comment section. I think it was yesterday, and my response was basically they were saying that it's an equal fight, and my response basically was Spence did all the heavy lifting. He went around. He collected 3 belts, which means he had to do 3 title fights to get those belts. And I don't understand why people think it should either be a even split or close to an even split, because they didn't do even work or even close to even work. Errol Spence Jr. did all the heavy lift. Let's imagine they were rolling a boulder up the hill, and Errol Spence rolled it 75% up the hill and got it to a point where it was almost at the top. They only had 25% more ground to cover to get it all the way to the top. And then Terence Crawford comes in and pushes it 3 feet and gets it to the top. Like, how is that equal work? How is that? How in any way is that equal? And that whatever they received as a payment for getting that ball to the top of the mountain, how should those guys split that money equally when Errol Spence rolled it from the bottom of the hill 75% of the way up the hill and Terence Crawford only got it over the hump? You know, it doesn't make sense at all. So at this point, when I see everybody saying that, you know, 55-45 split, the fight signed, they're only waiting for yada yada yada, well, that's a complete lie. Because some people are even reporting, and now this sounds completely idiotic right here. There are some people reporting that there was a 55-45 split deal that was signed, but Terence Crawford wants more money. How could you have a 55-45 split that was signed, yet Terence Crawford wants more money? It doesn't even make sense. I mean, it's so clickbaity at this point that it doesn't even make sense. Now, for Errol, you know, listen, I understand Bud Crawford proved a lot in another weight class, but this is not the weight class that he proved it in. In this weight class, he only proved he could beat Jeff Horn as a champion. If you want to give him all type of credit for that because Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, then, you know, it is what it is. But truth be told, Errol Spence had to go through 3 champions to get to the status that he's at. And whatever dollar amount he commands, he deserves that dollar amount because he did all the heavy lifting. It's completely unfair for Terence Crawford to come in and command anything, I think, above 30%. I actually think this fight should be more like 70-30 at this point. 70-30 would be completely fair at this point. Maybe even, 70-30 would be fair. I would keep it there. I'm not going to go past the 70-30 because 75-25 would, people's feelings would start getting hurt. This could be a problem for a while with this fight. And people are announcing that it's going to be announced, the fight's going to be announced on the 4th of July. People are saying it's already signed. If it's already signed, they would have announced it already. If it's already signed, ESPN would be talking about it. Fox Sports would be talking about it. Everybody would be talking about the fact that this fight is signed. There would be a fight date already. They're not waiting for YouTubers to get the information before they release it. That's not how it works. So anybody saying that this fight is signed, anybody saying that the 55-45 split is official, it's completely not. And I would say that Errol Spence Jr. would have to be a dummy to sign off on a 55-45 split after doing all that work. 60-40 was a decent split. I would say that would, the original split still should hold if nothing else. The 60-40 would be an okay split. I think Errol Spence would be giving up a couple of $1 million that he shouldn't be giving up. Even a 65-35 split would be decent, But I think it actually should be more along the lines of 70-30 at this point. Because if you've pushed the ball 70% up the hill, you only deserve 30% if you're the other guy just getting it over the hump. So, I would think at this point, the fight is not anywhere near being signed still as it has been. I think the money is still the problem. Terence Crawford does still want more money, but unfortunately for him, there is no extra money for him to be had because he's not done his first share of the work. Now, if he would have went after Ugas, when he was supposed to, took that Ugas fight, went and beat Ugas, because everybody seems to believe Terence Crawford can beat everybody and their mama, and he would beat Mike Tyson if you put him. I'm just playing with that one, but they feel like he could beat everybody you put in front of him at this point, which I don't think is true, because there are fights he could have very easily taken, and he didn't even pursue those fights. It was like there was nothing in his mind telling him, for some reason, I need to be pursuing these fights. There was no one on his team urging him, like, these are the fights you need to take if you want to make this Errol Spence fight more lucrative for yourself. Because if you sit around and wait for him to go collect all these title belts, there's no way in the world that you're going to get the dollar amount that you want, let alone the venue, let alone the referee, and it's a trickle down effect. The fact that Errol Spence is getting pretty much everything that he wants is because he's done all the heavy lifting. Not similar to Floyd Mayweather, who was not a unified champion and always commanded everything to go in his favor. It's a little different with Errol Spence because he actually went and collected all those belts. So he has the negotiating power to say, well, I want it to go this way. Or I want this amount of money. Or I want this venue. I want this referee. He can call those shots because he did the heavy lifting. And I would be so disappointed in this dude if he took this much time to make this fight, and he made Terence Crawford wait all this time only to give in on his price point. I think he would be idiotic at that point to give in on his price point. I think there would be so many millions of dollars that he would leave on the table. Plus the fact of, what if he gets beat for a cheaper price? If you get beat for a cheaper price, oh boy, how stupid you are. So anybody telling you that the 55-45 split is official is wrong. Anybody telling you that the 55-45 split is fair, they're wrong. Anybody telling you that this fight is signed, they're lying to you. It's clickbait. Anybody telling you that it's going to be officially announced on the 4th of July, I would say they're just misinformed, because I've heard nothing from anybody of a credible source to this point to put my hat on the fact that could possibly be true. I don't think that that's true at all, and I would be highly, highly, highly disappointed in Errol Spence Jr. Unless, now there is one factor. Now, if they've somehow come up with $60 million or $70 million to split between these two, then 55-45, it could be extremely lucrative for Errol Spence Jr. But I don't think they're playing with that type of money. I think the pot is more probably around the $35 to $45 million range. And of course, if Terence Crawford gets 10 to 15, you gotta pay Earl 25 to 30 million, maybe even 35. So, to me, I just don't see the 55-45 split happening at all. And if you believe it, hey, it's on you, man. Because when the contracts finally do come out and it's all said and done, I don't think that's where the price points are going to be set at. And I think this fight is nowhere near closer to being made at this point. And I think Terence Crawford is if he's commanding 55-45, he's pricing himself out. He doesn't want to make this fight. He's trying to stall it out for as long as he can to get Spence to come up off of something else, whether it's some more money. You know, if he can get to like I said, a 65-35 split, or you know, something like that, because I'm pretty sure Errol Spence wants a 70-30 split at this point. Having 3 belts, I'm pretty sure that's the split he's offering. It is what it is, man. Terence Crawford should have put himself in a better position. And you're basically just pricing yourself out at this point. And anybody telling you different is just clickbaiting you, man. You know, don't fall for the clickbait trap. It's not true. It's not happening yet. It's not signed yet. It is what it is. It's your boy Cardinal Red. Cardinal Red on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagrams. Holler at me on anyone that you want to. I think we are out of here for now. It's your boy, and we are out of here.